If you didn't already know, I used my free hit in Game Week 12 and it's been an absolute disaster. 31 points, I'm in 486k overall. I basically doubled my rank. But I could put that behind me now and look ahead at Game Week 13 and I might be triple captaining Erling Haaland. Here is my team selection. All right, this is the last time I have to look at this team, isn't it? 31 points, 486k overall, and I used my free hit. What is, well, even worse than this, I think, if I kept my team as it was, didn't play the chip, I think the players I had would have actually outscored what I ended up with on my free hit. Petrovic, Mukiele, Richards, Senesi across the back line. I mean, I'll take what I got from Mukiele and Richards. Petrovic and Senesi, I backed the Bournemouth defence against West Ham. Off the back, I don't know why I did it really, off the back of conceding 4 goals to Aston Villa in Game Week 11. They obviously conceded 2 to their former player, Callum Wilson. Senesi got an assist, so that brought him up to 3 points, so he didn't completely blank. Obviously, Petrovic with a 1-pointer. Blanks across my midfield. Ismail Assar, before I get into the midfield, I had Joachim Andersen pre the free hit. If I started him, he would have got 10 points. Ridiculous. Midfield, Ismail Assar, I could have, honestly, on my deadline stream, I was 50-50 between Ismail Assar and Munoz. Don't ask me why I went for Sarr in the end. I did. He got 3 points. Munoz got 14. Bruno Fernandes and Mbumo both blanking. I mean, Man United were absolutely rubbish. I'm recording this on Tuesday night because I've got the Cartel podcast coming out in the morning, so I have to do it tonight. Yeah, Man United were pretty poor against Everton, let's be honest. Brian Mbumo, I think, because he went down trying to win a penalty, you know, he got lucky, I think. He could have got another yellow card for that. Yeah, they both blanked. Bruno Fernandes with 11 DEFCON, so he is just continually dodging points in my team. One little bit of solace I can take from this team, not that it actually paid off for me, is that I backed against Haaland, and Haaland blanked. Salah, of course, blanked as well, and Haaland accumulated basically 1 XG against Newcastle, so I'd say I've definitely ridden my luck there. Even though Haaland blanked, I wouldn't say, you know, he's not like he didn't have his chances. Igor Thiago missed a penalty, but did score 1 against Brighton. He had 2 penalties, missed 1, scored 1. I think my team, I've now had 3 missed penalties in the last 2 weeks and a blank from Mateta. Yeah, I'm only going to spend 2 minutes on it. That's my team. That's how we got on. I think I'd have been better off just not playing my free hit. But I think lesson learned here, I don't think I changed my decision. Maybe slightly changed some of the players I pick, but ultimately, I think what I've suffered with here is the kind of variance that you can get in just the space of a game week. You know, the free hit is, you're going to be up against variance in 1 game week's worth of games, aren't you? That's just the nature of it. So, yeah, painful, but we move on. We move on. Usually with my teams, and I'll do this with my team selection, but usually I go through position by position and talk about it. But I think because I've free hit, that doesn't give a representation of what my team actually looks like. Obviously, I played my free hit. It's reset to as it was before, and this is what it is. So I've got 3 free transfers, 0.4 million in the bank. Raya, Gahey, Senesi, they're fine. Gabriel in my defence. I need to get rid of him. Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Iliman Ndiaye, Enzo Fernandez, who I've just had enough of. And Antoine Semenyo, who I think should be fit. He's still flagged in, well, according to Fantasy Football Hub, but I think he'll be fit for Game Week 13. And then Haaland and Mateta up front. You can see their bench, Dubravka, Rodon, Krupa Jr. and Anderson. So with that in mind, we need to tackle Gabriel, and I want to get rid of Enzo Fernandez for a cunning little plan as well. So we'll first talk about replacements for Gabriel. What I'm looking at here, right, is clean sheet odds. Well, it's going to be my formation for picking a replacement. You know, before I actually played my free hit in Game Week 12, I'll let you in on a little secret. I actually did a transfer to bring in Van Dijk, and I reset it by playing my free hit. So Van Dijk was in my team up until the Game Week 12 deadline stream I did when I set my free hit. Having reset that transfer now, I'm actually quite glad, because based on what happened last week, I don't want to go anywhere near the Liverpool team at all, to be honest. Defensively, attack-wise, don't want to go anywhere near them. So it's left me with a couple of options, really, that I could go for. I think my 2 best replacements right now for Gabriel are Chris Richards from Crystal Palace and another Arsenal defender. Just go back to my team a second. If I went with Chris Richards from Crystal Palace, I've got double Crystal Palace defence. And I like the Palace defence, but I'm not sure I want to be doubled up on them. Arsenal defence look good. Who is my favourite Arsenal defender that isn't Gabriel? None of them really get DEFCON. I think it's probably Timber. He feels like the one that has the most attacking upside that Gabriel is not on the pitch. So I think that's going to be one of the 3 transfers I make. Gabriel to Timber. Gehi, Senesi and Raya are going to start for me. I think, well, benching Dubravka, I think, you know, I'm going double Arsenal defence against Chelsea, but I don't rule out the clean sheet there, and I don't mind that I'm starting Raya over Dubravka. Anderson, Rodon, King. Little surprise I might be making a transfer in my midfield on my bench. I'm quite happy with that. I think that's a pretty solid defence to go with. Now, before we move on to the rest of the team, I just wanted to quickly talk to you about the FPL Cartel. It's an exclusive weekly Discord weekly podcast that I'm doing with my friend Tom, as well as a private Discord. So that's the 2 things you're getting basically, and a little private mini league for Cartel members only, where there'll be prizes for the manager of the month and stuff like that. Yeah, there's good discussion in there at the moment. You know, you've got both of us in there to give you some FPL team advice as well. If you've heard of me or watching me, if you've heard of my good mate FPL Tom, we're both in there to give you some direct team advice. You can sign up using the link at the top of the description below. Your first month is totally free, so you can try it for a month, see if you like it, and stick around if you do. I hope you do. I'm certainly enjoying being a part of it. So yeah, top of the description, there's a link. Sign up to the FPL Cartel. I'm just going to quickly revisit my original team to talk you through my logic. So, as things stand, this video will go out on Wednesday. As it looks, Semenyo is still flagged, but I think he's going to play. So we've made a transfer on Gabriel. We've got Timber in. Then I'm looking at the rest of this team and I'm thinking, where else do I want to move things around? And I'm looking there at Enzo Fernandez and I'm thinking, what do I want to do with you? And, well, I sort of gave it away when I talked about my midfield on my bench, but there's one player that I'm very tempted to bring in as well, and that's of course Brian Mbeumo. I had him on my free hit and he seems to have been purchased by every man and his dog in Game Week 12 except for me. I don't have him at the moment, and I think the fixtures for Man United, don't get me wrong, are really good, but that fixture against Everton was a real sort of, I don't know, real sort of shock, wasn't it? In terms of, you know, Brian Mbeumo owners. I don't think anyone really would have expected Man United to be that bad. And there's a question, you know, the Liverpool result has put me off Virgil van Dijk entirely, right, and the Liverpool team. But the Man United result, I don't think it's quite as bad in the context of United as it is for the Liverpool one, if that makes sense. Because we all know Man United have that in them, but yet we're still picking Brian Mbeumo because of the goals and stuff that he's scored. But ultimately, you know, Enzo Fernandez, I can't get Brian Mbeumo with the money that I've got in a straight swap, so I'm going to have to go without him, basically. So the move I'm going to make in order to get rid of Enzo Fernandez and bring in another player that I want to buy, I'm going to swap Enzo Fernandez. You can see it already. I've swapped him for Josh King. We're going to go 4 in midfield, and then that lines me up to go 3 up front. And the third striker that I'm looking to bring in is Igor Thiago. I think he's up to 6.5 million now at the time of recording this video. The fixtures, well, apart from the Arsenal away fixture, I think the fixtures look good. That's the only thing that's sort of putting me off a little bit about Igor Thiago, is that I'm buying him the game week before he plays Arsenal away from home. I still think he's a good option though. 9 goals from 12 appearances, ridiculous amount of penalties, and it's not a fact, it might not be sustainable the rate that he's been getting them, but Brentford as a team, because we've discussed this on the FPL Cartel, we've done some analysis, and Brentford as a team is probably the best team in the Premier League at winning penalties. You know, the play style that they have is just made for winning set pieces and penalties, and this guy is the penalty taker. I don't think missing one against Brighton is going to stop him taking the pens. So that's what we're doing. Igor Thiago comes into the team. We're going for a 3-4-3. And as you might have guessed from the video title, there's one more decision to make about what I'm going to do here. And that decision, of course, is do we triple captain Erling Haaland? What we've got here is some projections courtesy of Solio. These are the next 5 weeks of top players for predicted points. Haaland is obviously top. And I'm looking across at the next 5 weeks, and when is there a better opportunity than this week to triple captain him? And it's Game Week 17. In Game Week 17, Man City play West Ham at home. Now, West Ham at home, Leeds at home. Which is the better fixture? I would say based on how the league has played out and probably personnel that both teams have. Mavropanos and Kilman at the back for West Ham. I think it could be a better fixture. But we should, providing nothing ridiculous happens in the Champions League this week, we should know that Haaland's fit for game week 13. Whereas, we get to game week 17, that's 4 game weeks in the future, lots of football in between now and then, lots of uncertainty, might not even be fit by that stage. You just don't know what's going to happen. So what we've probably got in game week 13 is a guaranteed fit Erling Haaland. And with that in mind, I think knowing that, that's enough for me to send it on the triple captain. I don't know about you. I've never really had a whole lot of luck from the triple captaincy chip. And I feel like if I wait till game week 17 and Haaland's not there as an option, I've only got like 2 weeks left to make it work. So, and obviously game week 15 is a chance as well. I think he's got Sunderland at home that game. So 13, 15 and 17 are all sort of triple captaincy opportunities. And when you look at the rest of the game weeks, those projected points totals in 13, 15 and 17 for Haaland are better than any other player in the game in any other game week. So those are like standout triple captaincy shouts. It's just a case of whether you do it in 13 or 17. I'm of the mind, should we know that he's fit, to send it and triple captain Haaland. It's nice and exciting to do that, isn't it? So that means I'm using all of my transfers to make those moves and a chip on my triple captain. But I think this team is really strong, isn't it? So we're going to go Raya, Gahey, Senesi, Timber, Saka, Bruno Fernandes and Jai. A hopefully fit Semenyo. Things might change if he's confirmed out again. We'll may do an update on this team or a little stream before the deadline on Saturday. Haaland, Mateta and Igor Thiago up front. I've switched Mateta and Thiago around the wrong way. I do apologise for that. That could be a running joke in this team that I do that now. This team gets a 98% AI rating. And if you treble Haaland's original points, 74.3 predicted points. I think that's the best way to play it, isn't it? I really do. I think those transfers are the way to go. The thing... I want to get rid of... The painful thing, right, is Enzo Fernandez. Because I know I'm going to sell him, right? And he's gonna score against Arsenal, isn't he? I just know that something like that is going to happen. It happened on my free hit. He got, scored, got bonus points after I, basically free hit to get rid of him. No, this is the plan. I wanted to bring in Igor Thiago all along last week. I wanted to replace Timber all along. Wanted to replace Gabriel all along last week. So I think those moves make sense. Before we wrap up the video, though, if you've got any other suggestions for me, for my team, do let me know in the comments. All right, and that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, please leave me a like rating, like I said in the little outro I did with the team. If you've got any suggestions for what I could do, I'd be really interested to hear it in the comments. I'm pretty sure those are the best moves I can make, but it is using all of my transfers. But I guess, in this period up to AFCON, in terms of up to game week 16, when the transfers, you get 5, it kind of makes sense to use them all, doesn't it? And try and build yourself the best team. There's not many times in FPL where you need to use transfers, if that makes sense. Usually I'm of the mind to store them where I can, but there's a real incentive, I think, at the moment to use them. So that's what we're doing. I said like the video. Make sure to like it if you haven't already. And subscribe to the Golden Goal channel. It should be just there on your screen. I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if there's anything you can do, subscribe to help me do that. I'd be very grateful. All right, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.